Hey, what's up, guys? It's Chelsea with the Heart AF podcast. Hope you guys are all doing well. I had a situation happen the other week, and I feel like it deserved to be talked about. So I ran into somebody from my past and triggered up all kinds of feelings and insecurities in me. This is a person who I had worked with, who I trusted. This person betrayed my trust, took advantage of me, and I ended up cutting them out completely from my life because I realized how toxic this person was and just how much it was just eating away at me. And there was just a lot of pain there because it was somebody that I just really cared an awful lot about. And I thought that they cared about me. I thought that they had my best interest at heart. And it turned out that they didn't. And that sucks. When you figure out that the way you thought about somebody or somebody that you trust just breaks that trust, that you just realize it was all kind of a facade, it was fake. And how much you guys know about narcissists or empaths, but I am an empath. I am somebody who feels deeply. I pick up other people's energies and feelings. And narcissists are people who don't really have that level of empathy, and they tend to only think of themselves. They're really good at manipulating you and have this way of kind of infiltrating into your space and like hooking you. And I think they typically feed on that attention and just knowing they have power over someone. And so this was somebody that definitely had power over me. Again, I thought that they cared about me, and it turned out to all be bullshit. And I got hurt in the end. And when I finally started to kind of see the truth, right? Because a lot of times when we're in these relationships with narcissists, it's really hard to see that we are kind of under their spell in a way. It's hard to see the truth because we just want so much to believe the best in them. And we just feel like there's all these good qualities that they're helping us. And there's all these ways that they kind of work and manipulate you, right? And to be able to separate yourself and actually see from the outside looking in and starting to see the red flags and seeing the ways that I had been manipulated and how I was basically a victim in the way I was treated. You know, in the beginning, I definitely was in that victim role. I just was so hurt and devastated. Like, how could I let this happen to myself? And just the pain of just wanting that apology. Like, why couldn't this person see how badly they hurt me? And why didn't they want to apologize to me? You know, like I said, I did end up blocking this person and cutting all form of contact, but a small part of me hoped that they would find a way to reach out to me to just apologize, but that never came. And it's been 2 years since I had seen or spoken to this person and then randomly ran into them. And luckily I was with my best friend at the time, so that helped alleviate that. But, I remember just kind of shaking and just, I didn't make eye contact with the person or anything, but I knew that they were there. I knew that they knew I was there, and just, kept engagement with my friend that I was with. And, we kind of went on around our business. And then when we left the place that we were at where we ran into them, my heart is pounding. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, don't worry. Like, it's not your fault. Like, oh my gosh, I just feel all kinds of feelings, like, did they see me? And then she's like, yeah, they totally saw you. In the back of my mind, I was like, maybe they're going to try to reach out now that they saw me. Maybe they will give me an apology. And they didn't. A couple of days went by and I heard absolutely nothing. And what's sad is, I did have this little sliver of hope that maybe they cared and would want to reach out and give me that apology I've been waiting for all this time. And they didn't. And I really had to change my thoughts about this because I could see myself going back down that road of feeling inadequate. Like, what's wrong with me? Like, why wasn't I worth it enough to at least acknowledge or give an apology? Like, can't you see that you hurt me? Like, it just makes you feel like this piece of shit, like you are nothing, right? Like, you didn't matter to this person. And the thing is when people hurt us, when people treat us badly and they do things and they don't apologize, right? Or a similar scenario, they can't see that they've hurt you, right? Like, it's just not even in their awareness. So it's nothing personal about you. There's nothing wrong with you. And really the way that you can get over this is just knowing your own self-worth. And I wrote a post not too long ago about remember who the fuck you are. And it's something I had to remind myself. There's a song I've been sharing on my social media lately. I listen to a lot of mantras. Like, I like to listen to them to music because I find that they're more catchy and it helps me like say the affirmations and mantras, in my head or out loud or with the music. I like doing it that way. That's the way that I feel it vibes the best, that I can really feel these affirmations and feel these mantras, and it really just helps boost me. And there's this one I came across. Her name is Shawaya Wise, and she has this song called Sis, You a Bad Bitch. And I love it. It just hits the nail right on the head with everything that I stand for and I believe. And so it was like I had to like tap into that inner bitch mode of me, right? Like knowing that I am fucking worth it. I am a badass bitch. And these people that want to try to hurt me, even unknowingly, like to know that I'm strong enough and that I know my worth. I know what I deserve, and I don't deserve to be treated that way. And they just can't see that. They can't see my worth, but I see it. I see my worth. I know that I deserve more. And I actually feel bad for this person because they let a badass bitch walk out of their life when I add a lot of shiny brightness. So, and that's not meant to be said in a cocky way at all, but it's just knowing your worth and knowing that sometimes people aren't going to recognize your brightness. They're not going to recognize your brilliance. They're not going to see the divinity that is within you. But do you see it? Because that's what you can work on. You're not going to be able to change other people. You can't make anybody apologize to you. You can't make people just change, right? But you can change yourself, and knowing you're worth it and knowing what boundaries you set. So I did set a boundary with blocking this person because I know my worth and I know I don't deserve to be treated that way. I know I deserve to be valued, and I know I deserve some respect, and this person was not giving me that. And it was time to cut that toxic person out of my life. And had a brief moment where I was kind of back into that same mindset 2 years ago of feeling inadequate, of feeling like a piece of shit, of feeling like I wasn't worth it, that I didn't deserve an apology. But I do deserve apology, but that doesn't mean I'm going to get it. But I can continue to work on my self-worth and knowing that I'm stronger, and I don't need his apology. I can send them off lovingly and just hope that they come to realize their own divinity and knowing their own power, knowing that they don't have to manipulate other people to provide them power or their own self-worth, right? Like, I just have to wish them well. And, it's hard to do. It's really hard to do. Like, of course, there's a part of me that wants some kind of like revenge or wants them to hurt like I hurt. But the truth is they probably already do. They probably already have a lot of pain and hurt built up within them. And that's maybe why they are the way they are. And again, it's not me. It's not in my power to change that person. All I can do is work on me and know my value and, move on from it. And I think, the thing is we all want closure. We want closure. We want to put things behind us. And sometimes we don't get the closure we necessarily want, but we can still get closure by, again, working on our own self-worth. And there's ways to do that by, getting all these feelings that you have out in your mind. Like I had all these things going on in my mind, right? Like all these like insecurities and feelings, and I had to get them out. So luckily I have a best friend, my ride or die, that I can tell these things to. And I was able to tell her all these things. And just sometimes even getting them out lets you see like how kind of idiotic some of it is, and like letting you realize like how like kind of stupid it is that we're having these thoughts. But it's a way to validate your feelings and to get them out, and then to see like, okay, this really isn't about me. This is about this person. This person is just a flawed person. They are still, worthy of love just as much as I'm worthy of love, but it's recognizing that they aren't in that space, that they are not a healed person. They're not a person who is working on healing themselves and, being better. And that's fine. That's their own journey. That's their own lessons that they have to learn. On one hand, it is a lesson for me to learn too, right? And it's a lesson for me to learn about my own self-worth and coming into my own power and knowing how I can set boundaries so I don't let people take advantage of me again, and knowing when to draw boundaries and when to cut people out, and when to be so aware and sure of my self-worth so that I can set these boundaries and so that people will treat me the way that I deserve to be treated. And that starts with knowing how you deserve to be treated. It starts with knowing your worth and knowing what you're going to be okay with and what you're not going to be okay with. People treat you the way you let them treat you. And that's a hard truth to learn, because so many times we just want to go straight into this victim mode where we want people to feel sorry for us, or we kind of just are like, oh, all these things happen. I always get treated like shit. I always do all this stuff. And then it's like, well, what are you doing? How are you attracting that into your life? And what can you do? What can you change within you to make sure you make it known that no, that's not okay for you to treat me that way. And you have to speak up for yourself. You have to be your own advocate. And the way that you can learn to stand up in that and be strong is, again, working on this self-worth piece. Getting those feelings out is one way to do it. Journaling, writing. If you don't have a person that you feel like you can confidently talk to face to face, talk out loud to yourself or write it in a fucking journal. Get these feelings out. It's a way to get them out of you and letting them go, right? Like, you can't let these thoughts fester in your mind, because if you get stuck in your mind, you're going to get sucked. You're going to get in that low vibrational state. You're going to become that victim. You're going to attract more of these low vibrational energies into your space. And you don't want to do that. You want to break that. You want to change that spiral. So you start spiraling back up and knowing your fucking worth, remembering who the fuck you are, right? Like, remembering you're a badass bitch and coming back into that energy and stepping into that power, because that's who you are. You are deserving of love. You are deserving of joy. You are deserving of abundance and happiness and getting what you want in your life and being treated how you deserve to be treated in your life. Like, that is your birthright. You are fully worthy of everything that you could possibly want or need. Everything you want or need is already here. It's just tapping into it and knowing that you deserve it and then receiving it. Okay. I've talked about this in other episodes, but it's just something that I have to keep repeating, because it's so easy to get lost in our mind, to get triggered by something like this, a situation, something that comes up from your past, a reminder of a moment where you felt unworthy and insecure. But there's a way out of that. And I'm trying to share that with you. So again, getting those feelings out, those insecurities out, and writing them, voicing them, getting them out so they're not staying and festering inside your body, right? It's like getting them out of your body and getting them out and letting them go, like giving them to the light. Like, there's so many different ways that you can kind of let this stuff go. And it goes back to, talking about, like, everyone else's behavior is not on you. It's not your fault that people are behaving this way. You did nothing wrong. Like, you have no control over other people's behavior. The only behavior you control is yourself. And we forget that we actually have more power than we think we do. When we start thinking these thoughts, like, we have the power to choose how we think about something. And so sometimes even, again, writing it out is so helpful, because you can kind of start to see, like, outside of yourself. Because when you're stuck in your head, it's really hard to see and separate what is like false information or what is things that are just not logical. When you get it out on paper and you can read it, or you have that friend that you can tell the stuff and they can, like, receive it and throw it back to you and let you know, like, hey, do you realize what you're saying? Like, this is ludicrous. Like, no, like, you don't deserve this. Like, this is not okay. Like, you are a badass bitch. Remember who you are, and, like, rise above this. Like, you are better than this, and you can decide how you want to, stand up from this. You can decide to see the truth, which is that you are a divine being and you deserve to be treated with respect and love. And just know that about yourself, and then being able to receive that, like, that you are worthy and capable of receiving the love and respect that you deserve. And so when you stand in that power, then you're able to reflect that back in your life. Like, that's what starts coming back to you. That's the energy you start attracting more into your life. So I did have a moment, was in that low vibrational state, I festered it, sulked, I think, for a day. Next day, I came up, like, talked to my friend, got it all out. And I think it was in a dream too, because I'm just like, why the fuck am I going down this road again? Like, I don't want to be here. Like, I hate being in this low vibrational state. I hate feeling unworthy and like I'm a piece of shit. So, like, how do I flip this? And so I remember kind of asking for help and just, like, you can say prayer or whatever, but I just, with my mind, I'm asking for help. I went to bed. I had some really crazy dreams. Next day, talked to my friend, was talking about these feelings. I'm like, yeah, like, I really just came to know, like, I don't need this. Like, this is bullshit. Like, I don't need to go back and, like, be in that same space I was a couple of years ago when this was first happening. Like, I'm so much better than this. Like, I deserve so much more. I need to, like, not give two shits about this and move on, because I have so much to be thankful for in my life. So I want to finish this up with, again, remembering who you are and holding your head high. Like, that is all you need to do, is just remembering who you are, remembering your divinity, remembering what is, like, what you're capable of, and also how worthy you are to get everything that you want and to be treated the way you deserve to be treated. You deserve love and respect. You do. That is your birthright. That is absolutely what you deserve, no matter what. And another way to kind of come back and get into that more high vibrational state is also being grateful and expressing gratitude for all the amazing things that you have going on in your life. Sometimes we get so, like, bogged down with all the negative things and all the things that we see that we're missing in our life, or the things that are going wrong, or these negative feelings. But if we can start to focus on what we can appreciate that's going on in our life, so, like, for me, I've got 3 amazing kids that get to call me mom, that I get to help grow into adults. Like I get to be a part of their journey and seeing them grow and change and learn. And that's amazing. I have a roof over my head. Like I get to look outside every day and see just this vastness, beauty of the sky, the clouds, the sun, the stars, like all that stuff is so magical to me. And when I look outside, just looking outside and seeing nature, when I watch a bird fly by, like it's so beautiful. Like there's so much to be thankful for. And when you can get into that headspace where you're being in that appreciation state, where you're grateful for the things you have, like looking at the ways that people do treat you with love and respect. Like that was the other thing that occurred to me. It was like, whoa, why am I dwelling on this one person who has been disrespectful and has treated me poorly when I have this amazing friend who has been nothing but loving to me and showing me that love and respect and allows me to vent to her and, has this love for me and that friendship. Like that's so amazing. Like I'm so grateful that I have that. Like I have a husband who loves me and I'm like, I don't know why. Like, I can be so hard to live with, but he's still there. He still shows up. And just, there's all these people that are actually here for me. Why am I like wasting time on this one person who doesn't get it? It's fine. Like they don't have to get it. I've got people that do get it. I got people that do love me for who I am. And that's what I need to focus on and be appreciative for. So if you find yourself in this situation where you're waiting on an apology that is not going to come, like you're questioning your worth and you have insecurities popping up, like get those feelings out, hold your head up high, journal, write about it, get it out one way or another, talk about it with somebody you trust, focus on, what you can be grateful for and getting in that appreciation state. And then really just remembering who the fuck you are, like remembering your power, remembering your worthiness, your innate worthiness, because you are so worthy and deserving of love, of joy, happiness, abundance, all of it. Everyone deserves that. Everyone. You don't have to earn that. And that's a big thing I always try to instill is you don't have to earn your worth. Like there's nothing you have to prove to gain worthiness. Like you are innately worthy of all of the joy and the love that is here. And there is an abundant flow, like a never ending source of love and light available to you. So don't forget that. I talked about the mantras that I listen to. So I have on my website a place where you can snag my mantra playlist. I have it on Spotify or Apple Music. It's fucking amazing. It's something I listen to repeat all the time. And it's just full of all these really amazing songs that are mantras and affirmations that really just help you shift that mindset and realize your power and your divinity. It's awesome. So please go to my website. I'll actually link the page in the description of this podcast so you can find that and grab that playlist for yourself. I hope you guys are all doing well. You can find me on Facebook or Instagram at chelsea.vanbuskirk or find me on my website at chelseavanbuskirk.com. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.